So in this first presentation, we will look at the paper which focuses on RISC-V simulator and benchmark suite for designing and evaluating vector architectures. So for introduction, we will see that a vector architecture, it includes instruction set extensions. So in an already existing instruction sets, we include some extensions so that we can support vector operations. So vector operations, instead of taking a single entity, operate on multiple entities. So instead of taking a single register, they take a vector of many registers in a vector architecture. Now, as we said that in a vector architecture, we extend an instruction set. So in this paper, they have taken a RISC-V ISA and added a vector extension in it, and this is done in order to offer to the computer architecture community a maximum freedom in terms of research and development of new acceleration technologies, and a flexible maximum vector length can be provided. So in a single instruction and multiple operation type of in that kind of architectures, so in some cases the vector length is fixed, but in with the help of this RISC-V we will be able to pick up a variable maximum vector length. So this can be chosen by the architect instead of being restricted by architecture. So this paper provides basically two contributions. So the first one is the simulator, which is based on an existing simulator and then adding an extension towards it. And second is a benchmark framework. So like benchmarking, we mean like providing a standard for some applications. So this will enable researchers to test novel ideas on vector architectures. So looking toward the first contribution, so in the GEM5 simulator, so we will be giving an extension which will be a decoupled vector architecture model. So simply speaking, in a normal model, so if a model is parameter based, then the designer can obtain a flexibility, like what kind of parameters he will be providing to the architecture, and this it will help in a better simulation. So he can, according to his needs, provide parameters. So this will give a flexibility and customizability for the vector engine researchers. Now in this work, in the existing GEM5, an extra support is provided to the CPU pipeline so that it can recognize the vector instructions and perform different tasks before sending instruction to the vector engine, which is being simulated in GEM5 extension. So in the existing GEM5, two features basically are added, which are like a model based on RISC-V architecture. So there is on the based on RISC-V ISA, the GEM5 simulator was enhanced. So this includes a new V extension, so which provides, as we said earlier, an unbounded MVL size, maximum vector length size, which in combination with a flexible and customizable model will help in designing very long vectors in the simulation. And a decoupled vector engine. So in this decoupling, the vector memory unit will be decoupled with execution unit, and vector unit will be decoupled with scalar units. So in this way, scalar executions can run ahead. Now going in the model details. So the model will have basically two parts: a scalar core and a vector engine. So as we can see in this diagram, so on the left side we can see this scalar core, and then we can see this as a vector. So scalar core is here, and this is the vector engine, and this vector engine also has many parts as are mentioned here. So there is the vector renaming. So this does the work like and paging system in operating system. So like here we will be provided logical addresses, and here in the rename unit they will be converted to the physical addresses. Then there are the queues as mentioned here, the vector issue queues. So after decoding, the instructions will be pushed in these queues, and after getting into the queues they will be sent to their respective units. So like memory instructions will be sent to memory units, arithmetic instructions will be sent to this vector lane. Then there is this reorder buffer, so that will be helpful in ordering the instructions. Then there are these vector lanes. So there are, as we can see, there are 8 vector lanes. Each one of them will be synchronized with the help of this lane interconnection. Then, as we said, there are 8 vector lanes, and there is a vector memory unit as it is shown here. So that will be dealing with the memory part. So like the code for the original gem5 simulation and models can be found here, and the additional extension which is being discussed right now, it could be found under this link, so which is under the development by the author. So the second contribution in this paper was the RISC-V vectorized benchmark suite. So this is a collection of 7 data parallel applications from different domains. So this is being used for benchmarking some micro architectures based on vector architectures. So it provides us a mark, a standard mark. So that is the aim of this part. So the link to the suite, so that code can also be found on the internet by the author of this paper. So the applications were selected in such a way that the vector lengths are agnostic, so that they can be tested with short, medium as well as large vector lengths. So this implementation, as discussed in the first part, that it is based on the RISC-V architecture. Now in this part there were 24 configurations, and they were evaluated for the vector engine for these 7 applications. So we can see that these are the applications. So the applications were selected from different domains, and as we know that vector architectures are mostly working on data level parallel problems. So in all these problems data level parallelism occurs, but as we can see that the data level parallelism can be of different kinds. So as a result the author has used most of the DLP patterns, so that he can say that these kind of variations are there, and on all these kinds of patterns the benchmark suite is tested. So the factors and parameters which were considered were the vector lengths, then the total number of instructions which include scalar instructions and total vector instructions, then number of operations. So the scalar instructions have one operation, and then vector instructions have multiple operations. Then there are vector instructions, so that is the sum total of vector memory instructions and the arithmetic instructions, as we saw earlier that there is this memory part and there is other part. So that's the memory part and the arithmetic part. Now vector operations represent the total number of operations performed by each vector instructions, and as we said that scalar sorry, that scalar instructions have only one operation. And then we have vector length, and we have percentage of vectorization. So with the help of all these factors and parameters we will be judging like on the problems and the applications which are used for benchmarking. So this gives a brief review in a tabular manner about memory unit, the vector length, interconnections for each of the problems. So like there is Black-Scholes problem, Kernighan problem, Jacobi 2D, and so on. So from the benchmarking part, so vectorization, a few main takeaways. Vectorization may be good for some applications but may not be good for all applications. So that can be seen in the paper, for example in the Canil application. And one thing which was there in the paper, which was like selection of the part of the application which has to be vectorized. Now, some of the other takeaways are that finding a way to obtain more general vector architecture which can handle different DLP patterns. So as we said that there are different DLP patterns. So a general architecture which can deal with different DLP patterns is a challenge. So like in some DLP patterns the performance of the system was good, but in some there was not that good. So giving a general vector architecture is a challenge. And reconfigurable vector architectures, so like which can modify their structures depending on the application needs and the like patterns. So that kind of intelligent architectures are like a direction in which the future may be there. And so that's how like according to the problem the architecture may adapt with the help and deal with the problems in a better way. Thank you, and now Gautam will continue from here with the second paper.
Thank you, Dash. Coming to the next paper. In this paper, we presented the world's first attempt to develop a high-level programmable graph processing framework for modern NeckSX Aurora Subasa vector architecture. Visual allows solving a number of fundamental graph problems, including SSSP, BFS, PR, and CC. The visual-based implementations of these problems demonstrate a significant acceleration compared to existing most advanced frameworks and libraries developed for other platforms. For example, the visual-based implementations are up to 14 times faster compared to Ligra, Galois, and GAPBS multi-core CPU frameworks, and up to 3 times faster compared to Gunrock and NVGraph implementations for various synthetic real-world graphs. Next. Graph processing is frequently used in social networks and web graphs analysis, solving infrastructure and biological problems, socioeconomic modeling, and many other problems. Graph algorithms belong to data-intensive class, thus they usually heavily stress the memory subsystem of target platforms. Using systems with HBM, meaning high bandwidth memory, can significantly accelerate many graph algorithms. Currently, HBM is installed mainly in GPUs, vector processors, and processors with vector extensions, since computational principles of these architectures allow to efficiently utilize available memory throughout the collective SSS and memory subsystem performed by GPU cores and vector units. Since SX Aurora is not just typical accelerator but rather a self-sufficient processor, SPUs are designed to provide relatively high performance on scalar computations. Next. There are four main ways of visual computational abstractions: advance, compute, reduce, and generate new frontier. The advance has highly irregular computational workflow due to the irregular distribution of vertex degrees and a large number of indirect memories accesses. The advance input consists of a graph, an interior frontier, and several underdefined handler functions like vertex processor OP, edge OP, vertex process operation as shown in the figure. It is guaranteed that the execution of vertex pre-process operation, edge pre-process, and vertex post-process operations for each vertex is serialized. However, all the edge operations for each adjacent edge are executed in parallel. The compute abstraction applies a user-defined compute operation to each vertex of the given input frontier. Since all compute operations can be independently executed, the compute abstraction can be implemented in a straightforward way on NIC SX Aurora Subasa architecture. Typically, this abstraction is used for a wide range of operations for graph vertices. The reduce abstraction applies to user-defined reduce operation, which returns some value to each vertex or given input frontier. Likewise, the large operations estimating future frontier size in BFS, calculating dangling nodes, inputs in page rank, etc. Next. The advanced abstraction implements three types of handler functions, each one aimed at processing vertices of each separate group using different techniques for parallel intercore workload balancing and using vector architecture as shown in the figure in the right. Each high degree vertex from first group is processed using entire SX Aurora vector architecture. All eight vector cores process adjacent edges of each vertex using vector instructions of 256 vector length, applying a user-defined edge operation to adjacent edges. The edge traversal is implemented via simultaneously parallelized and vectorized loops. Each medium degree vertex from second group is processed using a single vector core, which processes 256 adjacent edges at a time using vector instructions. Edge traversal of each vertex is implemented as a vectorized loop, while parallelization of between different cores is implemented among different vertices. Processing small degree vertices in VCL is implemented in a fundamentally different way. Due to low degree of each vertex in this group, each vertex is processed in by means each vector is processed one by one element at a time. Thus, each vector core processes 256 consecutive vertices of input frontier. Next. Parallel workload balancing between different vector cores in VCL is implemented via OpenMP schedule, that is static head clause. Using static workload balancing in VGL is possible due to preliminary applied cauterization. Thus, 8SX Aurora vector cores always process 64 consecutive graph vertices, which usually have approximately the same number of adjacent edges, since all graph vertices are stored. This allows all vector cores to process approximately the same number of edges, even for highly irregular real-world graphs, as shown in Table 3. Consequently, all OpenMP threads have similar execution times as shown in Table 4. The performance, including the effective memory bandwidth of SX Aurora vector instructions, decreases in proportion to their length. Thus, using vector instruction with a vector length of 256 is highly desired. Processing graph vertices in separate groups allows using vector instruction of length close to 256. Next. The advanced abstraction supports efficient implementations of both push and pull based graph algorithms. Generally, pull based algorithms are more efficient on SS Aurora since gather vector instructions implementing indirect memory loads have better performance compared to scatter instructions, which implement indirect stores as shown in the left figure. The SX Aurora Subasa architecture indirect memory access to 8-byte value are approximately twice more faster compared to access to 4-byte data due to scatter or gather vector instructions implementations. Uh, the similar configuration can be shown in figure 4. Thus, for every graph algorithm, it can be beneficial to pack 4-byte values into 8-byte. If two different 4-byte values are loaded per graph edge, levels and parents in BFS page ranks and outgoing degrees of PR algorithm. VGL provides a special API to perform such packing or unpacking operations in compute and advanced abstractions. Next. Using visual abstractions, we implement several algorithms aimed at solving the following fundamental graph problems like shortest paths, page rank, connected components, and breadth first search. The breadth first search operate with frontiers of vertices concept natively implement using visual data abstractions. The initial frontier is set to contain only a source vertex, and each iteration, a new frontier of vertices is generated from all unvisited vertices, which are neighbors of the previous frontier. In VCL, both direction optimization and top-down BFS algorithms are implemented. The single source shortest paths problem involves finding paths between a given source vertex and all other graph vertices, such that all weights on the path between source and destination vertices are minimized. Multiple parallel shortest path algorithms exist, including Bellman-Ford and delta stepping. The algorithm assigns a numerical weight to each element of a hyperlinked set of documents with the purpose of quantifying its relative importance within the set. In VZL, the pull-based page rank algorithm is implemented since it allows to avoid using atomic operations, which are very inefficient on SX Aurora architecture. Finally, the connected components problem involves labeling graph vertices using unique component IDs. VZL connected components implementation is based on Shiolak, Veshnik, and BFS based algorithms. Next. The performance of VZL based implementations has been evaluated in comparison with other existing frameworks and libraries for multi-core CPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. Um, the comparative VZL performance analysis is demonstrated in these figures. Provided performance results have been obtained using following methodology. Means for each graph problem like PR, SSSP, BFS, CC, the VZL based implementation performance has been compared with two fastest multi-core CPU and NVIDIA GPU implementations available for each problem. This is the main reason why some frameworks such as uh, Kusha are not present in the figures below. Their performance is significantly lower compared to the other frameworks and libraries. In order to exclude possible differences in performance caused by different computational complexity of algorithms being used in different frameworks, only the same algorithms or minor variations of the same algorithm have been compared. Next. Um, the first important thing to observe is that VZL achieves up to 14 times acceleration compared to multi-core CPU implementations. Such a significant performance difference is caused by different peak memory bandwidth values and these platforms. 90 GB for Intel Xenon versus 1.2 terabyte of NIC SX Aurora Subasa. The fact that performance difference is approximately proportional to bandwidth values proves our observation expressed in the beginning of the paper about significant potential of using system with high bandwidth memory for graph applications. The comparison of VZL performance with implementations targeting V100 GPU is more clear since both systems have approximately the same theoretical memory bandwidths. Next. Uh, Coming to the future plans, there are three major future plans corresponding to this paper. First is extending the list of graph algorithms implemented in VGL. Currently, in addition to algorithms discussed in this paper, algorithms for solving maximum flow, community detection, widest paths, strongly connected components, and all pairs shortest problems are implemented. The second is implementing the possibility of multiple SX Aurora vector engines for graph processing. The direction is motivated by the fact that supercomputer nodes based on SX Aurora Subasa architecture are equipped with up to 8 vector engines using all potential vectors. The third is extending VGL framework to other system with big bandwidth memory and vector processing features. Thus, we presented the world's first attempt to develop a high-level programmable graph processing framework for modern SX Aurora Subasa vector architecture. The NIC SX Aurora Subasa is equipped with memory of 1.2 terabyte per second bandwidth, which allows a drastic acceleration of various graph algorithms if they are accurately implemented. We discussed the visual computational and data abstractions as well as their implementation details and possible accelerations. Now, Neeraj will continue with the next paper.
Thank you, Gautam. So now we are going to discuss about the paper 3, which is basically the performance evaluation of a vector supercomputer. And specifically, we will talk about the SX Aurora Tsubasa in this paper 3. So now let's analyze that what we will be going to discuss about the SX Aurora Tsubasa vector supercomputers. We will be discussing system architecture, execution model, performance evaluation using benchmark programs. So let's take an overview about it. So As supercomputing systems are now widely used in not only cutting edge scientific research but also various industries, supercomputing systems have become important social infrastructures to respond to the computational demands brought on by the expanded utilization of supercomputing systems. Many advanced techniques are required to ensure high computational performance. For example, recent processors and accelerators utilize many core technology, which integrates to thousands of cores on a chip. In addition, vector calculation techniques are adopted even in scalar processors and accelerators as well as in vector processors. However, as these techniques only enhance computational capability, there is a gap between theoretical performance and sustained performance, which is known as the memory wall problem. And SX Aurora Tsubasa is one of those supercomputer which actually solves and which actually very useful for the memory intense applications. So now we will talk about the major advantages of SX Aurora Tsubasa. Frequent data transfers between the VE and its corresponding VH. We will talk about all the terms. We will analyze the architecture as well. So right now, just VE is basically vector engine and VH is basically vector host. They tend to easily become a bottleneck in conventional accelerators, and which can be avoided since an application is mainly executed on vector engine in SX Aurora Tsubasa. No special programming is required as an application is executed on the vector engine. Explicit specification of the computation kernel to be executed on the vector engine is not necessary at all. So in addition to this, programmers really don't need to take care of the system calls to be executed on the vector host. So now we will talk about the system architecture of the vector engine in SX Aurora Tsubasa. So, as a characteristic of scientific applications grow more diverse, sustained performance depends strongly upon not only the theoretical peak computing performance of a system, but also its memory bandwidth. The design target of the VE processor is high sustained performance for application limited by memory performance through provision of a high memory bandwidth at a reasonable power efficiency as well. So thus, 6 HBM2 modules are connected to this processor. This is the first implementation in the world, and NEC developed in the implementation in collaboration with lot of different companies as well. Now let's see its block diagram to understand the architecture of this processor. It shows a block diagram of VE processor. It consists of 8 powerful vector cores, a 16 MB last level cache, which is LLC, and 6 HBM2 memory modules. Each core provides 307.2 G-flop per sec for double precision and 614.4 G-flop per sec for a single precision floating point calculations. Overall, if I talk about each vector engine processor having 8 cores provides up to 2.45 T-flop per sec DP and 4.91 T-flop per sec for single precision both of floating point performance. So the LLC is on both sides of the cores as we can see, and it is connected to each core through a two-dimensional network with a total cache bandwidth of 3 TB per sec. This processor is manufactured with 16 nm FIT process technology. Now, as you can see, there are basically 8 cores. Let's understand a more detail about cores. This figure illustrates a single core and its registers, cache, and memory hierarchy. The core consists of 3 major units: a scalar processing unit (SPU), a vector processing unit (VPU), and a memory addressing vector control unit, and a processor network unit (AVP). The SPU works as a core controller. It is tightly coupled with both the VPU and the AVP. Although operating system functions are provided by the vector host in SX or Tsubasa, each core of the vector engine processor has almost the same functionality as the modern processors. Now, uh, we have seen the architecture. Now, what are the advantages of this architecture? One of the greatest advantage of this architecture is the VPU organization. It has 3 vector fuse multiply add VFME units, which can be independently operated by different vector instructions. Each VFM unit has 32 vector pipelines. The vector length of this architecture is 256 elements, each of which is 8B. Therefore, one vector instruction executes approximately 256 arithmetic operations with 8 clock cycles. This actually provides a lot advantage of SX Aurora Tsubasa supercomputer. Now let's talk about the execution model of SX Aurora Tsubasa. So if I talk about the SX Aurora Tsubasa model, the vector engine is entirely responsible for executing applications, while the vector host provides OS functions such as process scheduling and handling of system calls invoked by the application running on a vector engine. Unlike a conventional accelerator, the one used by SX Aurora Tsubasa doesn't require frequent data transfers between the vector engine and its vector host. Furthermore, programmers really don't need to take care about any kind of system call. Now, let's understand about the software stack of the SX Aurora Tsubasa. Let's see the pic and understand. So this is basically the software stack picture. Now it shows the software stack. The design and the implementation of the vector engine OS were inspired by the prior HPC operating system for heterogeneous systems. Now in these systems, system calls made by an application processor are offloaded to their corresponding pseudo processes on another Linux host or core. In contrast, if I talk about SX Aurora Tsubasa supercomputer, there is no OS kernel on the VE instead. Instead, VEOS module on the vector host provides the OS functionality for the vector host. The vector engine operating system modules consist of the VE underscore executable command and the VE OS service. Now, this particular VE exec loads a vector engine program, requests permission to create a vector engine process, and serves the system calls and exceptions of the vector engine process. The VE driver installed in the VH Linux kernel space is a PCI device driver that provides VE resource accessibility and handle all kind of interrupts from the vector engines. So basically, this is about the software stack of SX Aurora Tsubasa. Now let's talk about the evaluation of the execution model of SX Aurora Tsubasa. In SX Aurora Tsubasa, a program is basically executed on the vector engine. Only system calls invoked from a program running on the vector engine are transparently offloaded to the vector host. By utilizing this execution model, frequent data transfers between the vector host and the vector engine, which is a bottleneck of the conventional accelerator execution model, can be avoided. In addition, as the data transfer and kernels to be executed on the vector engine do not have to be explicitly specified in a program, existing programs can be ported to the SX Aurora Tsubasa simply by recompiling them for the vector engine. In order to evaluate the execution model, the benchmark is executed in three ways. In the first way, it is executed on a vector engine and only a system call is transparently offloaded to the vector host. This execution process is basically called as the VE execution. And this is the standard way of executing a program on SX Aurora Tsubasa. In the second way, which is known as the VH offload, the benchmark is executed on the vector engine and scalar-friendly computation and a system call are explicitly offloaded to the vector host. If programmers know that some parts of a computation is suitable for scalar processing, they can explicitly offload it to the vector host. In the third way, which is known as the VE offload, the benchmark is executed on the vector host. The only Jacobi kernel is offloaded to the vector engine. So this execution model is close to the conventional accelerator execution model. Now you can see this picture, which actually a comparison of VE offload and VH offload. So the x-axis indicates the execution way, the y-axis indicates the execution time, showing breakdown of the different parts of the computation. The scalar computation in the vector engine execution takes longer than the other ways, as you can see. This is because all the computation, including the scalar-friendly computation, are executed on the vector engine itself. In the case of vector host offload, as such scalar computation are explicitly offloaded to the vector host, the formatted output can be executed on the vector host. As a result, the execution time of the micro benchmark is the shortest in the vector host offload case. SX Aurora Tsubasa achieves the highest performance by executing vector-friendly computations on the vector engine and offloading the scalar-friendly computation appropriately to the vector host. Vector engine offload needs extra overhead for transmitting data from the vector host to the vector engine. So as a result, the total execution time becomes longer than that of the vector engine offload. Now this comparison, what does this comparison clarify to us? Let's understand that point of view. This basically clarifies that the execution model of SX Aurora Tsubasa minimizes the data transfers between the vector host and the vector engine by executing vector-friendly computation on the vector engine and scalar-friendly computation and the system call to the VH. Therefore, the execution model fulfills the potential of the SX Aurora Tsubasa while maintaining high usability simultaneously. These results demonstrate that ASIC Aurora Tsubasa can exploit the potential of its powerful vector operation capability in comparison with other vector functions such as SIMD and AVX of KNL 7210 and Skylake as well. Now we are going to talk about the performance evaluation of ASIC Aurora Tsubasa on practical applications. We will mainly focus upon two applications. One of them is Tsunami simulation code. Now, the performance of Tsunami numerical simulation code, which is known as Tsunami, as a practical application, the Tsunami code solves nonlinear shallow water equation, and its numerical scheme uses the staggered leapfrog 2D finite difference method. The performance of the single core and the single socket of SX Aurora Tsubasa, SX is Skylake and KNL 7210 were compared, and we will see in the next slide the comparison of these three. So here you can see. Now the parallel performance was evaluated in the simulation of phenomena occurring 3 hours after an earthquake. This figure shows the execution times on 11 sockets of Skylake, 32 sockets of SXS, and 8 sockets of SX Aurora Tsubasa. The execution time of 16 cores on SX Aurora Tsubasa is 63 seconds. As SX Aurora Tsubasa achieves the highest core performance in the 4 systems, it is the short execution time on the smallest number of cores. Now let's come to the second one. It is direct numerical simulation code of turbulent flows. So it solves turbulent flows essential in science and engineering research fields because the practical application always include the turbulent phenomena. DNSs of turbulence with high Reynolds number RE, however, are difficult to carry out because the number of grid points approximately proportional to RE 9 by 4, right? The larger RE, the more the number of grid points in discretization increases. Therefore, computing systems with higher calculation speeds are required. The recent development of supercomputing systems make them a powerful means to elucidate such phenomena. And we will see this. Here you can see the relative speed of the DNS code to the computation time on a core of SX Aurora Tsubasa for ease the problem size. Now, as you can see, the calculation time of one core on SX Aurora Tsubasa is taken as a reference value in order to compare speed up ratios for 3 different grid points. For the grid point with 1283, 2563, and 5123. The speed ups of 32 core calculation of SX Aurora Tsubasa are approximately 8.14, 6.73, and 5.48 compared with the one core calculation on it. So it really implicates the high performance of SX Aurora Tsubasa. Now let's conclude the paper 3. So we have shown about the SX Aurora Tsubasa, its architecture, and some of its practical application that on which we can compare it, its supercomputing things. So SX Aurora Tsubasa has a new system architecture that consists of several vector engines and a vector host. The vector engines are responsible for executing an application, and the vector host is used for processing system calls invoked by the application. As system calls are transparently uploaded to the vector host, as we saw, programmers really don't need to worry about system calls. Also, SX Aurora Tsubasa has the world's highest memory bandwidth. The high sustained memory bandwidth of SX Aurora Tsubasa leads to the high sustained performance as well in various applications, just we saw. The evaluation shows the importance of high sustained memory performance. It opens up the field of supercomputing systems to more than just increasing theoretical computing performance. Thank you.